where did Cataclysm come? How did Cataclysm come to life? But I think that it's important for the audience or the people to know that this path is it has to be collaborative. It, because comic books are a collaborative medium, so the fact that Cataclysm was born that way just speaks a lot of it.
Art, the craft of making comics.
I'm your host, and welcome to the Pinelo Art Podcast for a moment. So, the place where independent comics take center stage. So, every week we'll sit down with incredible creators to explore the worlds they're building, the challenges they've overcome, and some passions that fuel independent storytelling. So, whether you're a lifelong comic fan, an aspiring creator, or simply curious about how original worlds are brought to life, this show is for you. Today marks the beginning of an exciting journey, and I couldn't be happier that you're joining us. Let's dive in. Today's guest isn't just making comics, he's building worlds, characters, legacies. So, please welcome Mr. William L. Glover.
Thank you. I am excited to be here.
Let's hit some applauses here. Let's say, give it 1 second. Hey, we have some clappings. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
How are you today, man?
I'm great, man. I'm ecstatic. Got a lot of great stuff going on. Tomorrow's my birthday. Turning the big 47. So I'm here, man. I'm ready to go.
Fantastic. Let's put some cheering from that for that birthday mention. Happy birthday, Mr. Glover.
Hey. Yeah,
this made a bold sauce is awesome. Okay. Let's finish. It's a little longer than expected. So, okay, we're gonna have a little conversation right now about Cataclysm Comics, and I'm going to start with like something a bit unexpected for you. But imagine you were like 12 years old, and you suddenly walk into this room. What would they say after finding out you're now creating comic books?
Oh man. It would actually be my 13-year-old. There's a reason why I say that. When I was 13, I was very sick. My mother went out to go and get some medicine. She came back with a comic, and that started me on my superhero comic. Um, my 12 or 13-year-old self would be ecstatic. Really, like they would want to see all the comics that came out. They would want to read them, go and grab a snack, and just go over all the comics and start reading. So yeah, they would be very happy with
Yeah, I think that's
13-year-old hero.
I think that's like one of the coolest things because all independent comic creators are like started building worlds and our artistic journey just reading, reading the comics. Yeah, you should speak a little bit closer to the microphone because the
Okay.
audio is breaking a little. Yeah, sure. So okay, now when did comics stop like being something you loved and become something you knew you had to create?
Oh man. I wouldn't say that I ever stopped loving it. First off, it became something that I felt like I had to create because it's something that I love. So, I used to read a lot of
Yep.
comics. I used to be into X Men and stuff like that. And whenever I would get bored or I have to do some kind of boring chore or something like that, I made up stories in my head. So I was doing it, like I said, as early as about 13, creating characters in my head. I would sit in my room and draw characters and so forth. So almost immediately after falling in love with my first superhero, I started creating my own world right then and there. So, yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of which, well, what would you say it was the very first comic book that completely changed your life?
Okay, so uh, there has to be like a little backstory to this from before I get into it. My sister used to read comic books to me out of the newspaper when I
Okay.
was a kid, especially on Sundays when it was full of color and everything. She would read the comic strips. But going back to when I was 13 and I was sick, I had a really, really bad cold. Well, actually, it wasn't a cold. I think it was chicken pox. And my mother
Okay.
went to the store to get some medicine, and she came back with a thorn. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was boring, but it turned me on to superhero comics because before, all I was hearing, because my sister was reading to me, was funnies, the Sunday funnies. So I would have to say Thor, and I forgot exactly what issue that was. I know that sounds kind of bad. But like I said, it was kind of a boring comic. But it got me into superheroes, and I started buying the superhero comics and everything, and fell in love with the X Men and
Oh,
anything
okay.
with an X. So
Yeah.
Thor started, but the X Men were the ones that really caught my attention and got all of my little pocket change.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, actually, one of the ways I like became interested in comics was reading that fun strips on the newspaper because where I lived, it took like a while to get some comic books in the newspaper stand, and we kind of had like this Latin American comic books that were not focused on superheroes on that kind of universes, but it was like more like a funny strips kind of things. And then we got like the licenses for Batman and Spider-Man and the Simpsons and that the Donald Duck and that kind of stuff. And it just was went progressively. So I understand you. You kind of start with something not superhero theme, you know.
Right. Yeah, like even
Yeah. So
now, I've
yeah.
got like comments now that are like Donald Duck, stuff
Yeah.
like that, that you would get now in free comic book day and stuff like that. So I've got the
Yeah.
Simpsons and all of that. So,
Yeah, I still love them, and I really love like digging into them like once in a while too. It kind of refreshes your creativity just reading something that liked
yeah,
harder, you know.
like another thing that I used to be into was the Archie. You know,
Yeah, I loved Archie. Yes.
I found Archie very interesting because I would have to say possibly that Archie was the first poly relationship type of comic because he had
Yeah.
Archie, Veronica, and Betty, But a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people don't see it that way. But yeah, I'm putting it out here right now that Archie was probably the first poly relationship in comics.
Yeah. Yeah. He was very ahead of his time.
Right.
So mentioning that, who you think were your biggest influences, like to start your creativity path?
Well, I grew up reading Marvel, so I'd have to say Stanley and Jack Kirby. They were the main influences, and in my own mind, my own creativity. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I get it. So I mean, like when you're starting doing and you when you're starting doing comics in like in that mindset, you're not thinking like, oh my god, is someone going to read this, or is going to someone to like what I'm doing, or you just go ahead and write what you like and what your favorite stuff is, right? So there comes just a little moment in your life when you're doing this. If you've doing been doing it for like long time, or since you were a kid, then that you start to think, oh, well, should I keep doing this as a hobby, or should I just keep, the creative path? And then something like or, takes from you, and you start thinking, like introspective, that's the word for it, right? And you start thinking that, so were you always confident about this, or did you ever think like nobody's going to read what I'm putting out in the world?
Well, I've pretty much always been confident, and I'll tell you why. Uh, because I've always been a pretty good storyteller. I've always been pretty good at writing. Not really the two thing, but what I used to do is I used to write short stories, and I used to call up my niece, and I'm like, yo, are you busy? You want to hear this, or whatever? And I would read it to her, and she would be like, "Crash the story." So it started off, like I said, me, if I got bored or whatever, I would make up stories or whatever in my head. So I keep myself. And then from there, sometimes I would just write these stories out and follow my things again. Here's this. So, and she was like, yeah, that's really good. I love it. And eventually it started to spread out to other people. I started to call other people, or, I got a little older, got a girlfriend or whatever. Hey, check this out. And I read the story. Oh, baby, that's really good. So I always sort of had that confidence because I knew
Yeah,
I was good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even now, sometimes I will go back and I'll find old stories that I wrote as a kid. And I'll read them and I was like, I was a kid when I wrote that. So
Yeah,
yeah, I've always kind of had the confidence.
I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. I mean, in my world, the one that used to tell me stories was my grandfather, uh, RIP. So he used to sit, and my grandmother as well. So they used to sit us down, all their um what's it grandsons and granddaughters, and tell us stories for the after Sunday night, so I was picking up stuff without knowing about it. So I didn't know I was a storyteller until I was an adult. So my path was a little bit different from yours, that you always knew that you wanted to do this, or you were
Yeah.
good doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I was.
Yeah,
It wasn't just writing comics, but it was like, well, back then I wasn't writing comics. Back then I was just doing little short stories and
yeah,
poems. I used to write poetry, and I would try to write novels, but didn't have the bandwidth to write the entire novel. But what I wrote captured people's imagination, captured their thoughts, and they would sit there and just listening the whole time. And that's what it is. So yeah, I was always a writer before I even started doing it. But like I said, I would make up the stories in superheroes fighting the villains and stuff.
yeah.
Story arcs and all of that. So all of that was in my mind before I even created Cataclysm a long time. I had an entire comic universe in my head.
Yeah, yeah, that's a gift, man. I would say it like that. So let's talk about Cataclysm comics a little bit. Yeah, we all know that independent publishing is one of the toughest creative paths to take. So, what inspired the vision behind Cataclysm Comics?
What inspired me? What? No, I'm sorry.
What inspired the vision behind Cataclysm Comics?
Oh boy. So I
Yeah.
was in this nerd group on Facebook. It's been shut down since. But during that time period, it was Jack Kirby's birthday, and they wanted us to draw Jack Kirby's character as a way to honor Jack. And in that group, I said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we created our own characters? I think Jack would be more honored if we created our own stuff." And then it hit. Uh, I was like, "Okay, wouldn't it be cool if we all got together and just formed a big comic?" And when I did that, I immediately started getting inboxes from people. "Hey man, start up this group, man. I'm ready to do this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I just made a suggestion. "No, man, I'm ready. I'm an artist or whatever." I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. But anyway, I don't know. But, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, well, people started to inbox me asking me to create this group so that we could form the company. And after a while, that's what I did. I created a group. Everybody who wanted to join, I added them to it. We bounced some ideas off of each other for years before anything got published. For years. I started Cataclysm in 2017, officially. Unofficially, I believe I started it in 2015. Still up to each other.
Yeah.
2017 is when I met, and I got business license. I got the articles of organization. All of that stuff. And then from there, it took quite a bit more years of bouncing ideas back and forth and everything, trying to get artists to stay committed to the project, because there's a lot of artists, you get them on there and they're like, "Hey man, I want to do this," and then you get them on there and then they disappear, and then they come back like about like 5 months later. "Hey man, I've been going through depression. I hate this project." So yeah, it's been a lot of struggling to get it going, but I'm glad it took off.
Yeah. It took some time. I'm hearing. We all have like unofficial dates when we're starting, and then it just kind of rolls with the snow.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of
So
I
that
kind of got
answers.
pressured into this.
But that actually answers one of my main questions about Cataclysm. That I know you've been asked like a million times, where did Cataclysm come? How did Cataclysm come to life? But I think that like it's important for the audience or the people to know that um, this path is, it has to be collaborative. It Because comic books are a collaborative medium. So the fact that Cataclysm was born that way just speaks a lot of it. No.
Right.
Yeah. So in your experience, what is it like to be like the CEO of a book company and publisher now?
Ooh, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I have long days. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to my day job. I don't get home
Yeah.
until 6:30. When I get home at 6:30, that's when I start working on comic. I will get here, check emails. I I wear plenty of hats, lots and lots. I work on the website. I have to get comics printed. I've got to check up on the artists and the writers, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Uh, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Uh, in the earlier stages, I walked up and down the street. There was a strip, not too far from me. But there's a lot of businesses. And I walked up and down the strip asking people if they wanted to buy ad space. We had to come up with the prices for these ad spaces. You had to type up everything, make it look professional. I mean, there is a lot that goes into it. And, part of me wouldn't change it for the world. Another part of me is like, I need rest.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Anything that you are trying to do, you have to put the effort into it. You have to work at it. You're going to have some sleepless nights. That's just nature of it. So being the CEO of my own comic company, it's a lot, but
Yeah, I think so. It is very worth it. I mean, we all working independent comics do it for passion first, and then comes all the business side of it. But
right,
we don't kind of realize how much business is into it
yeah, there is a
until
lot.
we're there.
Listen, man, when I first started this, I was like, oh, I can't wait to create. I can't wait to write. I can't wait to, I had to teach myself better art than what I had. 'Cause my art, my life, everything, straight garbage. But it's gotten better. But now that I'm doing it, it's like, man, I wish I was creating. As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
all of this week I'm supposed to be creating. I have not created a single thing.
I get you, man. I truly get you.
No writing,
Yeah.
no drawing, no nothing. I've just been either I got hit with regular everyday life stuff, or I get ready to create, and then somebody will inbox me, "Hey, I need such and such done." So now I got to work on the business stuff again to get it done for for my creative. So it's always something. Always.
I totally get that, man. I mean, we were just speaking off camera about. I was just taking the kids for lunch and then coming rushing home to get this podcast started, and the day job just drains you
Yes.
creatively, and you get home and Jesus. That's why that's one of the things that I thought when I was thinking about this podcast, and the final phrase of the podcast is like a page a day makes a comic one day,
Hmm.
because it
Yeah,
kind of
I get what you're saying.
resonates with you. It
Yeah,
sinks
it's
in
like,
because
yeah, you sit
you
there, you
just
just write one page, and then you're like, all right, that's it. I'm just going to relax. And you do that every single day until it's finished. And then you're like,
yes,
I've actually got this comic. You know? But
yes,
yeah,
sir. That
yeah, a page a day makes a lot.
that's what it's all about. Yeah. So let's say, how does it work with the publisher? I mean, suppose I know nothing about this process. I just draw or write and want my work published somewhere out there in the indie realm. What should I do?
Oh boy, first, get money. It's going to take money to have your comics up. Whether you're getting printers and doing it yourself, or you're going to a printer. So, okay, let me start in the very beginning. First off, you have to have an idea. Once you have that idea, now you gotta come up with your characters, your supporting characters, what they're doing. Now you have to come up with an outline. You don't necessarily have to, but it's better so that you can have a trajectory wherever you're trying to go in your story, characters. Then it's time to write. Page one, panel one. You describe what's going on in the panel. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Is it raining? What's going on? Is the moon shining down on a specific character? Is that character in silhouette? Or what? You got to think about all this stuff as you're writing, because this is going to convey to the artist what you want, what your vision. Uh, Once you have the script written, now it's time to find an artist. Like I said in the very beginning, have money. A lot of times, artists aren't going to do anything up front, without other front. A lot of them. I've been lucky enough to find a few artists to receive that. So, if you can find an artist that's comfortable with that, so be it. You work with the artist and everything. Sometimes the artist can do it on their own. Sometimes you work with an artist or whatever to make sure that your vision comes true. You have to edit the comic. I skipped the part. Once you're done writing the script, make sure to edit the comic. Make sure that everything's punctuated, everything's spelled correctly, etc. You want to sort of do the same thing with the art. When the artist is done, you're looking through, when he's done with the page, look through the page and everything, make sure that it's up to date,
Yeah.
because if something's off, then you got to let them know so that they can change. If you are the artist, then, you're the one doing all the art and everything. You have to do what you're good at. If you're not good at coloring, don't try to color. If you are just an inker, just ink. If you are doing pencils, do the pencils. If you can do it all, do it all. Once that is done, the book has to be formatted. There are extra stuff like letters, pages, and maybe mock-ups of characters or whatever. If you guys want to add that to the book, you can do that. It's not necessary, but we did it. Once all of that's done, you format the book the way that you want it to be. And then from there, you have to do your research and find the best printer. If you want a large run of comics, you want to find a printer that's sort of cheap, but at the same time has great quality printing. Because nobody wants to buy a crappy comic.
Yeah.
You pay for the printing and everything. And here's another thing. Now you have to have a place to put your comics when they're shipped in. If you're getting like a large order, like thousands of comics, they are going to deliver those on pallets. You have to have a place to put these pallets. Cataclysm Comics is part of a group called Comics, and sometimes they get large orders like that. And those pallets will be dropped off on the front stoop of their, on their stairs or whatever, their apartment, their house, or whatever. They have to go out there and they have to break down these pallets and bring in these comics and hope that nobody comes along and steals anything. I
Yes.
order short runs. I order like 25 to 30 comics at a time. But I might ramp it up to about 100. So I just found a publisher that's kind of, cheap or whatever. Like I said, I'm going to check out the quality of the comics. And if they're good, and I'll start doing 100 runs, stuff like that. But, so then you have, the comics are here now. Based on the price you pay for the printing, you set the price of the comics so that you can try to make a profit. And then from there, you got to find venues to sell your comics at. You work out deals with comic stores or whatever. Most comic stores want 60 or 70% of the sales, and you get the last 40 or 30%. Not all comic, company stores are like that. Some of them will give you 100% of the sale, but not all of them. So you got to be able to negotiate the business and get the comics in there or whatnot. And it's really hard right now because Diamond distribution is no longer in business. And Diamond, for the longest time, was the biggest comic distributor in the world. And a lot of times that's where a lot of people try to get their comics into Diamond distribution. So now if you're looking for distribution, you have to do your research and try to find out who's out there. And then you have to try to contact them. And then you have to try to talk them into allowing them to carry your comic.
Yeah.
Another thing that will help, like I said, make sure you get money, Kickstarter, GoFundMe. Have people in your corner, let people know what you're doing. Friends, family, associates, co-workers, let them know what you're doing. Show them the passion behind it. and then set up these funds, GoFundMe and Kickstarter, and then tell them about it. Hey, look, I got this Kickstarter. This is my comic. I just had it printed or whatever. I'm trying to raise money so that I can print more or whatever you're trying to do. You got to have incentives as well for all of this. So it's like not just a comic, but maybe you can go and get T-shirts made, stickers to sell. Do your research. There are places where you can get T-shirts dirt cheap. You can get stickers dirt cheap and good quality stuff. Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
So do your research, get all of that done and everything, raise the money, and this, you gotta hustle. That's all there is to it. And so that's
yes.
basically from start to finish of the process. I know I've talked for a long time, but hey, that's the
No, no,
reality.
no. Yeah, I know. That's what it's all about, man. It's hustling all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, if you're trying to raise money, one of the best ways of doing it, go to businesses, mostly small businesses. You can go to corporations too. Corporations will help you out if you get in touch with the right people. What you want to do is create an ad and sell ads. And what I mean by that is like get like quarter page of a comic for like $25, a half a page of a comic for $50, a whole page for $100, or set your own price, whatever. You type up and print out the ad list, and you take it to whoever you want. Speak to the CEO or the owner or whoever is over that business and say, hey, I would love to have an ad from your company put into my comic. This is the comic right here. This is the quality. Feel free to look through it, etc., etc. And if you like it, these are my prices for the ads or whatnot. And you pay that price, and then you email me whatever you want to be the advertisement to go into the comic, and I'll make sure it gets printed in the next one. You know. Or you can be like, all right, so it's $25 for this corner page here. If you pay $150, then I'll put it in X amount of copies, X amount of issues. And that's another way, basically, to raise money besides Kickstarter and Go.
That's a good strategy, man. Really good strategy. Yeah, that also sounds very fun.
It can be fun. It can also be a pain. Like I said, like right now, man, I've got this job, man, and it's like I'm gone for a little over 12 hours out the day. So when I come home, like you said, I'm beat. I don't want to do this. But
Yeah.
if you want these comics to do well, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. For I think for most of the time it's putting in that little extra for for your business, and it will come up. No,
Yeah.
definitely. So speaking of which, how many comic books have Cataclysm Comics published?
Oh well, I'm glad you asked. Let's count them, shall we? We have trillion number one, trillion number two. We have three, number four, trillion number five. Oops, sorry. And then these are just released. We have trillion number six
Nice.
and trillion number seven. And
Whoa.
then on top of that, if you would like, you can get trade paperback, which has 7 issues in it. It
Uh,
also have issue 0 in it. Now, issue 0 was created for Free Comic Book Day. It's basically a free comic. So you get all of that inside of the trade paperback. Plus, we have 2 more issues, not of Trillion, but 2 more comics that are about to come out pretty soon. We have one called The Girl vs. Zombie, and then there's another one called A Gunny Guy. So those are all the comics that we have right now so far.
Whoa, fantastic, man! I love it. We're doing
And
great. We're doing
yeah,
great.
and I don't know if you know, I don't know, Victor, if you know who this guy is or whatnot, but he's amazing. He's the reason why all of these comics are out right now. So
He's a bomb. That's
yeah,
great, dude. So, okay, let's talk a little bit more about these projects. There's obviously a lot of trillion there, but Cataclysm is building towards a launching more titles soon, right? So
right,
I have a few names of titles that we're developing in the company, and let's like bring the spotlight to some of them so people can know more about them, and when
right,
they see you and in the conventions they can get their books, or they want to order you or online or via messenger or something, they know what we are talking about or what we're doing with these
right.
titles, right? So Trillion, what makes Trillion unique?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, first off, I want to give a shout out to Joseph Stevenson, who is the writer of the book.
Joseph
Joseph,
deserves a clap.
yeah, Joseph lives in England, and his writing style is pretty cool. What makes Trillion different is number one, if you notice, it's a plus size African American female on the cover. Um, I don't know too many plus size African female superheroes. There
Okay.
is one plus size female superhero that comes to mind off the top of my head. It's also an independent comic called Faith. I believe that's the name of the character.
Hmm.
Faith. But you don't see any plus size African American. So that's what makes it stand out. And then on top of that, it's pretty much a social commentary on capitalism and how the rich mistreat the poor and the oppressed. So that's really what makes it very, very different, than anything else that's out there. It's
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like a villain of the week type of story, but there is a through line, a story that is continuing through all of the books. So you can easily pick up like issue 6 or issue 7, start reading it, and be like, oh, okay, that's cool or whatever. But if you read from the beginning all the way through, like I said, there's a through line, there's a story arc that's happening very slowly and gradually. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what makes it different.
The hero's journey of Trillion, it's linked to the villain of the week story. So it's pretty cool to just pick up any issue you want, start reading from there, and just going backwards or forwards. It doesn't matter. You're not going to miss anything really
Right,
like important so far.
so far.
So far.
Well,
So if some,
there have been
yeah,
some pretty important moments that popped up. There have been
yeah,
so far, but yeah, you can pick up any of them to start.
yeah. So we have another title coming up that's called "The Girl versus Zombies." You mentioned
Yes,
by Dieter Sakum.
yes.
Um, this title, it already has an amazing name, you know. So where do you think the original idea came from for that?
Now that I don't know. You would have to ask Diddy for the
Well,
original
I think,
idea. But
yeah.
it's pretty interesting. It does look very cartoony, but it does have some adult themes. There's a little bit
Yeah,
of
I've read it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, but it is kind of interesting. It's short, sweet, and interesting. And I can't wait to see where Didier takes it from where we leave off. I'm not giving away any spoilers or anything, but there is an interesting cliffhanger at the end of this comic. And I can't wait for you
Yes.
guys to read it and check it out and see for yourself what I'm talking.
Yes, I think we're going to invite Didier to come and have a little talk about his projects. and
Yeah,
he'll tell us more about it. But yeah, the title is very interesting, and I've read the pages because I formatted it, and then it leaves us with some cool cliffhanger to develop the story. So hopefully he gives us more and more and more.
right.
Yeah, well, we got as well a title called Samson. Without spoilers, can you tell us more about it?
Samson the Mighty. Okay, so Samson the Mighty is still being worked on, right? But it, let's just put it this way: it focuses on Samson from, I'm talking about the biblical sense. It
Yeah,
picks up unexpectedly from where we leave off in the Bible, and he goes off on all of these adventures without being preachy or too religious. It leans more into a superhero aspect. Yeah, there will be a little bit of religion aspects to it. Yes, there will be a little bit of preachiness, but it's mostly superhero action following him, and also a surprise character who I believe will be a breakout character uh, named Namael. So we'll be following the adventures of Samson the Mighty and Namael. I'm pretty excited
yeah,
about that. Whenever it gets completed and ready to go, I want to see that.
yeah. I know. I know. I'm featuring some of those characters right now, and something will be working this week. so,
Okay.
so keep tuning in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't spoil anything.
Okay, dude. Adoni God Killer. What is the story about?
A God Killer is it's like an African folk tale. You have Shango the Thunder God, who is trying to do good, but in doing good, he ends up hurting a lot of people, and in some cases, killing people. So the gods have come together, and they're trying to humble Shango by giving powers to a mortal, Adon, and having her humbled. And that's basically what the story is about. Now, I have to continue to talk to the writer to see whether or not the story is going to be ongoing or if that's just a one shot. But Adoni is coming, and it's a pretty interesting story. I'm pretty excited about that one as well because I believe that more African folk tales and folklore has to come. You know, we're always getting Greek mythology, and they got the Odyssey in the movies and stuff coming out now and stuff like that. Just get a little bit of African mythology, you know. So I'm excited about that. Putting that out.
Yeah, I'm excited to read the book as well. I mean, I've read it. I'm excited to have it in my hands.
Yeah, you get to
So,
format everything. You get to read everything.
yeah, I got
You
some.
got the best
How
job in
you
the
call
company.
yeah, like a privileged preview of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we have two more titles I'd like to ask you about. If that's okay. We have we're developing as well a comic book called Silver Bullet. So Matt, what makes Silver Bullet stand apart from all that other comics?
It's a wild ride. So Silver Bullet was created by myself. And you know
Yes.
how Marvel and DC rip off characters from each other. Well, basically, original issue is supposed to be a rip off of Black, but I decided to give her a special ability to where she can zoom in and see things with just her eye. It's almost as if she's looking through a scope or binoculars. Uh, and then not only that, but if there's a projectile or something fired towards her, as long as she can see it, her body automatically reacts and she can dodge it. You know, even if it's a bullet coming at her really fast, her body automatically adapts and dodges. But if she doesn't see it coming, then or she's going to oh wait.
What?
But
Yeah.
one of the things that really set off the comic is her. There's going to be a sidekick, and his name is Road. Roadhog has been seriously developed. And I can't wait for you guys to really get to know this character because, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very interesting background, period. Like, I don't think I've ever met any superhero or supporting character or anybody in any of the comics that I've ever read with as much interesting backstory as he. So I'm looking forward to Stephen St. Amant. He's the one who wrote the story. I
Shout out,
basically,
Stephen. Yeah.
yeah, I broke it down for him and everything, and he just took it and ran with it. He gave it his own flavor, and boy, like it's so much better than the boring super spy type stuff I was going to write. So yeah, shout out to Stephen for
Shout out. Yeah.
for really doing the damn thing. Oh, and also speaking of Stephen lettered Adoni Godfrey.
Yeah, he
And
did.
the writer, we got to shout him out too. Lord, please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. He lives in Africa. Is Talawalasu Liskave, I believe. That's his name. So if you're listening, Talawalasu, I say thank you, and I apologize if I butchered your name. But yeah, he's the
Yeah.
writer of Adoni, and Stephen lettered that. So you get a little double dose of Stephen.
Amazing work, guys. Yeah, I've read Adoni Got Killer as well because of the formatting, and
Uh-huh.
I gotta say I'm producing the Silver Bullet comic book with Stephen as well and you. So I thought that the comic was going a different path, but when I read the whole thing, the whole book story, it just came up packed with a lot of action. It
Yeah.
was very action based, very fun. I'm having a ton of fun doing it. Hopefully, be launched in a few months from now. In a few, how do you say that? In a few coming months.
Yeah.
So
Upcoming
hopefully
months.
not too. Yeah, upcoming months. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, one more title we are developing. It's the Outlander. What can you tell us about it?
Outlander is a character that I created, and he was really one of the first characters I created. This was supposed to be uh, our heavy hit, kind of like he's not a ripoff of Superman. I'm just saying he's kind of like what Superman is to DC. He's supposed to be our Superman, basically. But he doesn't have any of Superman's powers. His power was set as totally different. And interestingly enough, he's not a man. uh, so the Outlander, like I said, is a heavy hitter. He's one of those characters that I can't wait for guys, to read as well. I'm trying to figure out how to say things without giving too much away. But
I understand that. Yeah.
the very first issue, I'm gonna put it this way: he's not going to have his superhero costume for a little while. But yeah, it's this guy that wakes up out of a coma, and he's taken in by a friendly family who was plagued by some bad people, and that's where the story basically takes off. Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
want to give too much away or whatever, but that's
Yeah.
mainly the plot. And then I'll also say that he's not going to be nowhere near as strong in the very beginning as he eventually is going to be. So in the very beginning, you're going to be like, oh, he's supposed to be a heavy hitter. This has to do blah 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 blah. Yeah, he's going to have to go through a few trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
Gets to that point. But yeah, I created that character as well, and can't wait to see that comic.
So we got some serious character development there.
Yeah, and I'm the one who actually wrote that comic, so I'm kind of proud of that. And this week I was supposed to be starting on issue number two, but like I said,
Yeah.
life has been happening. But I also want to say that we have another comic uh, out as well. Well, not out, but coming out. This one is written by David White, and it's called Soul Page. And all I can say is imagine superheroes that can manifest musical instruments and use them as weapons. And this is like in a dystopian type of society. So it's basically after an apocalypse happens. And so now people are able to manifest musical instruments as weapons. I'm looking very, very forward to that. It's almost done, the comic itself. But there's also going to be a surprise along with that. We're going to be reaching out to independent musical artists to create song and instrumental to accompany the comic. So yeah, got that coming for you guys.
Very excited about it.
Me as well. And I've already seen some of the art that this artist has been doing. And David designed the characters. He has another
Okay.
artist who is drawing the comic, and then David is coloring the comic as well. So David is extremely, extremely talented. Love him. He's a very intelligent young man. I can't wait, to get that comic in my hand. I'm excited to read that myself. And another thing, David came up with the idea of the comic, but I helped him. I'm a co-writer on that comic as well. So I'm excited, to not only just get it in my hands and read it, but I'm excited for you guys to read it as well because I got a chance to help, write that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a participant in the stories, just when you get the final product in your hands, just like kind of feel like Christmas, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it really does. You get that tingle,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. It's fantastic.
get all giddy. So yeah,
Okay, well, we have a little more time
okay.
to finish the episode, but let's go with the funny part of the like interview, if you want to call it like that. But let's say, like, what's the questions that you wish fans ask more often when they see you in your table in the Comic Cons?
Whatever they want. So we have issues of trillion out, and we have a letter page that really need letters. We really need questions. Fans are reading. We would like feedback. We would like response, whether it's good response or bad response. People haven't been asking questions though. They've always been talking about your art. They've always been like, "Oh man, this reminds me of Invincible," and that's what comes out every time. They're like, "Oh, this art is great. Your artist reminds me of Ryan Otley. I think that's his name. That draws Invincible." But we would like questions. Ask us questions. I've gotten questions while in a panel, at a comic convention, but never, somebody come up to me saying, "Hey, why does such and such do such and such an issue number, blah blah."
Yeah,
If that is on your mind, feel free. Come up to me if you see me at a comic convention. I'm here in Pittsburgh. Uh, I go to Three Rivers Comic Con. I go to the Book Fests, all types of different stuff. If you ever see me out and you've got a burning question, feel free. I'm approachable. I will not bite. I promise. Unless you ask me.
unless
But
asked for.
ask,
Yeah.
ask whatever you want. It's fine. I'm an open book.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like we said in the very beginning of the chat. Is the comic books are a very collaborative medium, and part of that collaboration it's creating a community,
Right.
and more than a community, a readership, because if a reader is not involved with the story, then we cannot get feedback about it. No. And when we do it because of the readers, and yeah, we do it because of us, really.
Yeah.
But we are making something for someone to read and feel that bond with between readers and artists and comic book creators. Yeah, so ask
I'm,
questions, guys.
I'm going to tell you, like Samuel L. Jackson said in an interview one time, he only makes movies that he wants to see. So
Yeah,
we're putting out stories, comics that we would like to see. Now, with that being said, we get them out there. Now it's for you guys' pleasure, for the readers' pleasure. If there is any questions that you have or comments, make ask the questions or whatever. Let us know because we want to know if something resonated or if you hated something or if one of the highest compliments you can get. First off, let me say this: a hero is only as good as the villain. If you come up to us and you say, "Oh my God, I hated that villain in issue number 7 or whatever.
yeah,
He really got on my nerves or whatever," that is one of the biggest compliments you can get because
yeah.
we want you to hate that character because he's a bad guy, you
Yes.
know. Or if you say, "Hey, I love that supporting character that was an issue, blah 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 blah." Thank you. You know that means a lot. Just the fact that you read
Yeah.
the comic, that it resonates.
Yeah, I can't remember now the name of the author that wrote this quote, but it said like something like, I'm paraphrasing here. It said like, write an opponent that the audience loves to hate.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
said as you said, the hero is only as good as its villain.
Now, sometimes you can love a villain.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah,
some people who love the Joker. You've got some people who love Magneto. Magneto is a big, well, I wouldn't even consider Magneto a villain anymore. Magneto's an anti-hero.
no,
You
it's an
know,
anti-hero thing. Yeah,
yeah, he's more of an anti-hero. But you got people who love Thanos after Infinity War and Endgame. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes they'll love the villain or whatever, and that's
he
cool too.
did the
That's
right
fine too.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, we got three more questions and
Okay.
then we're going to move forward. Okay.
All right.
So, question number one would be like, what's something readers never realize about creating a comic?
Ooh, probably everything that we already told them.
Yeah.
They don't realize that
Yeah.
you have to wear lots of hats to do this. You have to wear
Yeah.
lots of hats. You got to advertise, market. You got to get your comics out there. You got to pound the pavement asking for ads. You
Yeah.
got to create the crowdfunding. There's a lot to this, folks. This is not going to be easy.
I
So
think that as a creator, the easiest part for us would be write the story or draw the story.
right.
Beyond that, it's, oh my god, such a lot of work to do, man.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. So, okay, second question would be like, years from now, when someone discovers your work for the first time, what do you hope they feel after turning that final page?
It depends on the story that I like you said, like
Yeah,
if you're trying to convey that the villain is really a bad guy, I want them to hate that guy. Or if you're
yeah,
trying to convey a love story, I want them to be like, oh, and feel butterflies and stuff in their stomach and be like, I wish that would happen to me. Uh, you want them to have empathy with that story. You want them to feel what you put out. So if somebody picks up a comic that I wrote years from now, that's what I want them to feel. I want it to resonate within their spirit.
Yeah,
I want them to be motivated to be like, yo, William is a great writer. I want to be just like him. You know.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, like the writer's link to that reader we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Okay. Final questions in the segment would be like, if there was someone out there interested in making comics with Cataclysm Comics, what would be the process to follow, and where would they contact the company or you, or what's the the link to us?
Well, our email is cataclysm comic company at gmail.com. Once again, that's cataclysm comic company at gmail.com. They could just send an email. Right now, I do have a artist that I need to respond to who contacted me. But you can contact me through there, or you could just simply go to the website, check everything out, or whatever. If it feels like something that you would like to be a part of, then you can just go to Cataclysm Comic Company at gmail.com. The website is called cataclysmcomic.com. Don't put an S at the end of comics. It's
Yeah,
cataclysmcomic.com. You can go there and you can check out upcoming comics and check out the news and see what's going on with us. We've got a little section there for all of the creators and everything. If you just want to read up on some of the creators. But yeah, I would say that, or if you want to, if you're on Facebook, you can send me a message on Facebook. I'm William L. Glover, L, the letter L. I'm here in Pittsburgh, and you can also go to Cataclysm Comics on Instagram and send us a message off of that as well. If you are a writer, send a snippet of your writing. Don't send like a whole script or whatever, because we're just going to ignore it. There's a reason for that. Just send like a
yeah,
little snippet of something that you've written. Or if you're an artist, then send examples of your art to us. We'll respond as soon as possible and try to get you on the team. I don't believe in gatekeeping. I believe in getting new, fresh people in. If you want to do comics, this can be a gateway into that. And whatever you do for Cataclysm Comics, just put that on your resume. And if you want to move on to a bigger, better comic company, do that. If you want to stick around with it, do that. Because with Cataclysm Comics, I want all of my creators to have a voice. If there's something that you would like to do, if there's something that you would like to see in comics, feel free, by all means. You can ask me and everything. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say yes. Every once in a while, if I'm not ready to do that, I'm going to be like, put a pin in that. Don't get rid of the idea. I'm going to say no for right now, but bring it back up later. Might be ready with you today. So I'm here
yeah.
for all the contributions.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. Yeah,
Oh, no,
I
yeah.
mean, it's very important for us to say that Cataclysm Comics is a creator-owned company.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
so basically, creators is get their share of the ideas, and they're not leaving anything to the company. Just they're publishing with us, and well, all that that we've been explaining for over a little bit of an hour now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, after the credits, our Patreon supporters get an exclusive conversation where today's guest shares the deleted story ideas, like behind the scenes secrets, upcoming projects, and answers questions submitted directly by our community. So stick around for it. And right now, we're going to go ahead and move forward to that part of that segment of the video. If you're in YouTube, that's where we're leaving you off right now. So wish happy birthday to William, and we'll see you in the next episode or next issue. I mean, I think I'm going to call them issues.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Call them issues.
Yeah.
In the next